Hey guys, it's me again, and today we're going to talk about the history of Cuba. So it started where some guy called Christopher Columbus reached this Caribbean island, which later would be called Cuba. Anyways, after Christopher Columbus discovered Cuba and many islands around the Caribbean, he went to Spain to tell the king and queen of Spain about what he discovered, mostly because Christopher Columbus was trying to go to India. But before he can go to India, he needed the help of a country to help him so he can get to India. And so he asked many European countries, but they all rejected him, and so he asked Spain. And first Spain rejected his plan and later was like, fine, we'll help you. Alright, so after Christopher Columbus discovered Cuba and many islands in the Caribbean, he went to Spain to tell the king and queen of Spain about what he discovered. And so later, Spain colonized Cuba and mostly all the Americas. And after so many years of having all this land, almost all Spain's colonies declared independence from Spain. But Cuba was still in Spanish hands until one day the Cubans wanted independence from Spain, mostly because the Spanish treated the Cubans very badly, which started the Cuban War of Independence. And that's not all. During the War of Independence, the United States blamed the Spanish for bombing the battleship USS Maine, which exploded in Cuba, which started the Spanish-American War. And after many casualties, Spain lost the war, and Spain lost Cuba, the Philippines, and Puerto Rico. So after the war, the United States occupied Cuba 2 times, and later the United States let Cuba get its independence. And Cuba was doing great after that, but around 1952, one of Cuba's ex-presidents called Fulgencio Batista did a military coup and took power. And after Batista took power, he turned into a dictator. After many years, the Cuban people were tired of Batista and wanted him to leave power, and so did this guy called Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro was a lawyer, and he was seeing what Batista was doing to Cuba, and so he tried to go against Batista's government, which ended up him in jail. But Batista was forced to let Fidel out of jail because most of Cuba supported Fidel, so Batista let him out. And so after Fidel left prison, he went with his brother to Mexico and met this guy called Che Guevara, which was an Argentine Marxist, and after they met, they decided that they were going to do a revolution in Cuba to take out Batista's regime. And they succeeded, and Batista left Cuba and went to hide in the Dominican Republic, and then later he hid in Spain. So after Batista fell out of power, Fidel took power and then turned into a communist dictator. And later on, Fidel became friends with the Soviet Union and almost started World War III. And incredibly, after all of that, Fidel managed to stay in power for almost 60 years. But in 2016, Fidel died. And so his brother took power, but apparently his brother had been in power since 2008, but that's probably what the government says. Anyways, in 2018, Cuba got a new president called Miguel Diaz-Canel, which is friends with the Castros, and pretty much needs to listen to Raul Castro's orders, which is pretty much Fidel Castro's brother, or else he's out of power. Anyways, Cuba's in a very terrible shape for like 60 years already, and it's poor, there's like food shortages, and the country has fallen apart after so many years of oppression. But even though Cuba has been in a bad state for a long time, I personally feel like something good is going to happen to Cuba. I obviously don't know when this is going to happen, but I feel like it's going to happen one day. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video about one of my native countries, since I'm half Cuban. Anyways, I know most of you probably thought that I was going to probably upload part 2 of Venezuela, but I just ended up never doing it. I mean, I know I'm going to do it obviously one day, but the thing is, nothing has happened so far. And I was thinking if I did like a part 2, I could possibly just wait until something happens, but literally nothing has happened. Maduro is still in power. Guaido is still fighting against Maduro, which is like nothing's literally happening. And the United States hasn't like interfered yet. And that's all I can pretty much tell you. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe if you want to, and like if you want to. And remember, kids, always eat your vegetables, alright?